please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
A very good afternoon. Welcome to Your Stocks. I'm Nigel D'Souza and with me is Ekta Batra. And in fact, we've got just 90 minutes before we have a midweek holiday actually. Ekta, so good to know that tomorrow we have a holiday. But the final 90 minutes is going to be quite interesting. Do you take some money off the table or do you carry that trade into Wednesday's trading session? That's the query that, in fact, that's the question that a lot of traders will be asking themselves. Well, today, the frontline index, that's the Nifty, is holding with a gain of around 50-55 points, but the real action is in the mid-cap space. Advanced decline ratio, the mid-cap index on the whole, Ekta, is doing very, very well. L&T Infotech, that's one stock that's doing very, very well. And in fact, L&T Services, both those two stocks, if you pull up the intraday chart, you'll see in the last 30 minutes, they've just gone through the roof. L&T Infotech, and let's pull up the other one as well, L&T Tech Services, that is well up close to around 12%. And earnings coming in thick and fast. Transformers and rectifiers, top line, there's a bit of a degrowth. It's down close to around 12%. The EBITDA as well has disappointed. That's down close to around 40%. And I think that would result in a sharply lower net profit. And that explains why, in fact, the stock has come off disappointing numbers.
Yes, but who can forget what's happening with the broader market stocks as well at this point in time. Just look at how Shriram EPC is spiked up around 17% Panacea Bio is up around 12% We have something like JK Tires, which is spiked up around 7% So there's a huge amount of interest which is taking place in select mid caps at this point. And not to mention a couple of these banks as well. So Bank of Baroda, that one is now up around 7%. Even something like an IDBI Bank, which is up around 7.5%. Indian Bank too up around 6%, just to give you a sense in terms of the kind of interest which is coming back in terms of a couple of these stocks from the broader markets. Transformers and rectifiers is a net loss actually of around 4 odd crores, and the revenue is down around 21% as well. So looking like a very sluggish set of numbers. You can see that downtick coming in on this stock.
A quick news update in terms of the Reliance Infra. Remember, the total deal, the value that was estimated was around 18,800 crores, and that explains why the stock is moving high. The transaction is expected to be completed in this quarter itself. That's March 2018, and the entire proceeds that they'll be receiving will be used for debt reduction. So that's what's got both those two stocks up and about after the CCI's nod coming in there. So both those two stocks spiking up as we speak. But it's earnings season, so we have Sanghi Industries. That posted a rather good set of numbers. Operationally, at least, it looked good. The profit number looked very, very good. The margin expansion, that's something that the street liked, though it's coming on a very, very low base. But to understand what's happened in the last quarter and what's the way forward, we have Ms. Bina Engineer, the director of the company, who joins us. Hi, Ms. Engineer. Thanks so much, ma'am, for joining in. Well, on the top line, not much of a growth is what we are seeing. Help us out with the sales volumes for the past quarter. For the first 9 months, what were they? And in fact, what's their target for FY18? I think last time you told us it's at around 3 million tons is what you're targeting. Help us, ma'am.
Yes, the numbers actually have stacked up quite well, because last year, if you see, the sales volume included a substantial amount of clinker sales post demonetization in that quarter. So in fact, on an overall volume basis, last year in this quarter we had done highest volume historically. But this time we've been able to move that volume from clinker to cement. So we've done 17% additional cement sales this quarter. So the cement sales was 6,60,000, and adding other things, the overall sales volume was 7,44,000. So technically it was lower by 12%, but take away about 2 lakh ton of clinker and add about 1 lakh of ton of cement to that. So that helps the margin substantially, and it also indicates domestic cement volume growth of 16%. Similarly, the prices also moved up about 11% on a YOY basis, again on a demonetized quarter base.
So, Ms. Engineer, you're saying that overall cement sales were down 12%. Are you trying to tell us that, though cement volumes as part of that pie, they were up 16%?
No, I'm saying that overall volume was up by 16%. Prices were up by 11%. So on a total sales basis, I've registered growth of 11%.
Okay. Ma'am, how exactly is demand looking if you had to, remove the impact of, say, a low base due to demonetization?
Demand is actually picking up quite well. As I said, the first half there was a sluggish sale in the cement industry as such, and Q3 has registered about 5% growth in the industry as a whole. So today we are on a positive on a 9-month basis. For Sanghi Cement, Q3 has registered a 16% growth in domestic volume term, and which will again move up because now we've begun our deliveries to Maharashtra and Mumbai market through our mini bulk carriers.
So you think that these margins are sustainable for you going forward? 20% plus?
Yes, clearly we had 22% margin without the other income in Q3, and the prices in Q4 which we are realizing are better than the Q3 averages. So I believe that this is the bare minimum that we should make in the current quarter also.
All right, ma'am, a quick question in terms of your volumes. For the first 9 months, what kind of a volume number have you done? You told us last time you want to do 3 million tons for FY18. That's on the cards?
More or less it's on the card. We have done about 18.5 lakh by now. But we could close around 27 if not 3 million ton, and 3.2 is the target for next year.
Okay, and you were talking about that EBITDA, margins you were telling us, but what about an EBITDA per ton basis? What it is? It's at around 1,000 or 1,100 rupees. What is your EBITDA per ton?
Backed up 908 rupees in Q3.
Okay.
And as I said, the prices are appearing better in Q4.
Okay. Just a quick last question then. You had some fundraising which you completed recently via QIP. What exactly will it be used for, and what might your plans be in terms of, say, additional fundraising? You have some capex coming on board?
Correct. So we are putting up an additional capacity of 4.1 million. So we are practically doubling our capacity to 8 million ton. For that, the project cost was about 1250 crores. We have tied up a term loan of 800 crores, and we have raised the QIP of 400 crores. So practically we have completed the entire funding for the project. We hope to commence work in beginning of April 2018 and complete the project in 2 years.
Okay, all right, Ms. Engineer. Thanks so much, ma'am, for joining and giving us those details. I think the street likes what you're saying. The stock has moved to the high point of the day, saying that Q4 will look much better. They've started deliveries to Maharashtra and the Mumbai market. Before, it was only concentrated in Gujarat, and pricing is improving, demand is improving. So the street, I think, is reading that as a positive. They're going to be doubling their capacity as well going ahead. Lips are gems. Well, it looks like quite a gem, I think. The stock is up and about. Those numbers look quite good. At least the glimpse that we got of them. But
well, for the markets, if you could just pull up a couple of these frontline stocks. We've been talking about how Tata Steel has been doing quite well, but the other one which really comes to mind is what's happening with Sun Pharma. That stock is managing to hold up with a gain of around 2%, so it's holding quite steady at this point in time. Remember that Halol inspection is expected to have begun today, so you are seeing that kind of momentum or optimism which is coming in at this point in time. Remember, numbers also on the 14th, so that too is in focus on account of that. Look at the kind of move for Yes Bank as well. That stock is at the high point above its 50 and 100-day moving average, so that stock is up around 2.8% at this point. But joining us this afternoon, we have Gaurang Shah on the fundamentals and Prakash Gaba to answer all of your technical queries. Gaurang as well as Prakash, thank you very much for joining in this afternoon. First up is Inderjeet, who calls us from Punjab with a question. Investments in Bank of Baroda. Hi Inderjeet.
Hello.
Your question is on Bank of Baroda?
जी मैडम, मैंने बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा के 250 शेयर है मैडम मेरे पास.
Okay.
और मैडम दिवाली पे लिए थे और अगली दिवाली तक नजरिया है मेरा.
Okay, fair enough. Gaurang, well, Inderjeet is very clear about his investment. I think it's around a year that he's okay with holding it for, sitting on a loss at this point. Taking into cognizance today's numbers as well as guidance, what would you recommend to him? Do you think it could at least even out by this Diwali for him? And if you could answer in Hindi.
Yes, sure. धन्यवाद पहले तो और गुड आफ्टरनून आप सभी को मेरे तरफ से. सकारात्मक सा नजरिया है.
Gaurang, we'll just come back to you, Gaurang. I think so. We'll get that audio fixed, and then in fact we'll come back to you. But
let's toss it over to Prakash. Prakash, what would you recommend?
I think it's going up. I don't know about Diwali or so, but looks like Bank of Baroda has some support in the lower regions. So there's a good chance we can see a climb. The climb is around 185, 190 zones. So I think it's up. Hold on to it.
Okay. All right. So the advice is to hold on to Bank of Baroda.
Hold कीजिए.
Okay, all right, and those are the numbers coming in from Aban Offshore as well, where the losses widened to over 330 odd crores versus 277.7 crores last quarter. Maybe need to look at it on a year-on-year basis, but nonetheless, it's widened on a sequential basis, as you can see.
High of the day for the Nifty now as we speak. We have NTPC, India Bulls Housing, as well as UPL. That in fact moves higher as we speak. Some news coming in on Reliance Power. The Delhi High Court has directed Coal India to supply coal to one of their units. So that's the reason why in fact that stock is moving higher. Remember at the start of the show, we had a CCI nod that came in for Reliance Infra's deal that they're doing with Adani Transmission. So that's what took that stock higher. Then we had Reliance Power, Reliance Capital. So the entire Anil Ambani group of stocks, actually, they're all doing well in the last half hour or so. And this is some incremental news that they'll be getting more coal coming in from Coal India. So obviously that goes down as a bit of a positive, up closer around 5% odd. But let's get to our next caller. We have Mr. Singh who calls us from Punjab. He has investments in NCC. Hi, Mr. Singh. Good afternoon. How can we help you, sir?
सर मेरे पास ना स्टॉक है अपना एनसीसी का
जी
ये मैंने एनसीसी का स्टॉक है सर मेरे पास ना
जी आपका बाय प्राइस सर
बाय प्राइस 92 रुपीज
जी और आप लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर है कि शॉर्ट टर्म
या सर लॉन्ग टर्म
Long term, superb. Congratulations, 75,000 profit. But Gaurang, since we have you in the studio, we said that our viewers want you to answer the query, so we've got you in person now. Tell us, what would the advice be to this gentleman? 75,000 is what he's making. He's a long-term investor, so he doesn't mind waiting. But should he wait or should he take some money off the table?
Thanks, Nigel, and good afternoon to all of you all. Singh साहब, नज़रिया आपका लंबी अवधि का है और एनसीसी के ऊपर करीबन 75-80 के आसपास हमने ख़रीदारी की कवायद की थी, यानी कि लंबी अवधि के नज़रिए से अगर आप निवेश करना चाहते हैं तो आप बिल्कुल निश्चिंत होकर के निवेश कर सकते हैं। जिस तरीके से ऑर्डर मिला है इस कंपनी को और जो एग्जीक्यूशन की रन रेट है उसको देखते हुए मुझे लग रहा है कि नतीजे काफ़ी बेहतर आएंगे और उसी लिहाज से 135 से लेकर के 145 तक के लक्ष्य बनते हैं एक साल का नज़रिया अगर आपका तो।